I think I forgot how to act. All right. I'm going to talk about something that makes me a little uncomfortable to share. Something that I've been feeling and experiencing lately. And maybe you've been there too. But it's that moment when you get an audition and you finally decide to get back into acting after being away for a while. And there's this sinking feeling like when you pick up that script and you think, did I forget how to act? Do you know what I mean? That moment when you sit down with your sides or your script in front of you and instead of excitement, there's just doubt, even fear. It's like you've been training for 5, 10, 15 years and all of a sudden it feels inaccessible and you're questioning if you still got it. And there might be a fear that you're not as good as you used to be. So you look at like your past work and you say, yo, that's really good, but I don't think I have that anymore. Is it just me? If you've been watching, you know that I've recently signed with a theatrical agent. And so when that first audition came in after a long stretch of not auditioning theatrically, which is like 2 years, I felt scared. For the first time in a very long time, I downloaded the scenes, I prepared to start, and I had no idea where to start. And it's crazy because I've been acting for 20 plus years, but something in me, I couldn't find my process. Like it felt foreign. I forgot how to break down my script, and then I was wondering, am I going to remember how to memorize lines? I know it's all a muscle. Maybe the lockdown and the strike caused my actor muscles to atrophy. But all of these, the psychological spiral happens of like, do I know how to do this? Am I about to blow this audition? Should I quit acting? Should I cancel? Maybe I'll just wait in 4 days. I've got 5 days. I'll wait till the last minute. No, you can't wait till the last minute because if you don't know how to do it now, you're really not going to know how to do it in a crunch. So what do you do in these moments? How do you deal with this very real scenario of feeling like you forgot how to act? I only knew one thing to do, and that was to go back to basics. Literally, go to my drama notebooks from workshops and classes from my favorite teachers, pages and pages of technique that I hadn't looked at in years. I even revisited the oldie but goodie, the audition book, which still holds true today. And it all started to come back. Like riding the bicycle, right? Of course, I wanted to dig into everything, but I had to slow down and get really focused. I feel like, my mind has been overstimulated easily nowadays. I get, what is the word that I'm looking for? I get just really overstimulated. That's the word I'm looking for. And so I had to learn how to kind of like chunk breaking down my script down into bits and pieces, working on a little bit every day for 4 days. Now, granted, we don't always get 4 days to work on the script. And in those times, I just condense my time and work on it in the time that I have. But here's what I did. Here are the steps that I took to go back to foundations. Number 1, we all know this. Read the script, but read it without considering the character. Read it to understand what's happening in a script. So I looked for conflict, arc, key themes, filling in the blanks of my questions or whether or not the answers were in the script or if I had to create a backstory. And to figure out what was standing in my way and what did I want. Then I had to go to personalization. Where has this happened in my life? How is it familiar? I was unfamiliar with the show, so I looked on IMDb Pro to read the premise, to look up the writers and the directors to see what they had worked on prior, to see what actors were playing what characters. I even went to YouTube and watched an episode so I can get the pacing and the tone down. And I kept rereading the script to find more nuances that I may have missed, places where I could show more strength or more vulnerability. And I wrote all these things on my script so they were easily accessible as I started to build my performance. Step 2, I'm an improviser and a sketch comedy performer. I do well with finding the beats. Now, a lot of times people think that finding beats is only for comedy, but they're very helpful in creating a blueprint of the character's journey. Finding the beats helps me to recall what's happening next, which in turn helps me to remember my lines. It's like laying the tracks of a train. With each beat, I'm remembering where the story is headed, the areas of momentum, the areas where it slows down. Number 3, this is my favorite. This is where I find the heart of the scene, and it's subtext. Everything people do, we rarely come out and say exactly what it is, because communication is about encoding and decoding. So I ask, what is my character really saying beneath all of this that she's not saying out loud? For example, if my character seems angry, but really deep down she's hurt, my performance needs to reflect that turmoil within and what's not being said as much as what is being said. For step 4, I go on to make very specific choices. Nothing that's going to be cemented, but just some ideas of where I'm going. And I used to hate this term when I first started acting, make good choices, because it seemed so vague and I didn't know what that meant. Make good choices, what do you mean? And it wasn't until I started improvising that we would play this game. It's a improv device of learning called New Choice. And so basically the improviser is up there and they're going through a scene, and the instructor will yell out, "New choice," and then we will stop and then really quickly change the choice to something that's similar but not as common, and you keep doing that, and then you find new nuances of these choices. But as long as you're staying within the theme, that's how I learned to make better choices. Now, sometimes these choices come from my life experience. The truth of the experience grounds me in the scene, and I don't have to worry about, is this what they like me to do? Because what they want is not really none of my business, meaning the casting director and the director. I can't create characters for them. I have to use my own perspective based on my authentic point of view. That's always open for redirection, but it still has to come from a source of what's believable for me. Number 5, I just keep rehearsing the lines. I use an app called the Rehearsal app where I upload my script. I highlight my lines within the script, I record the characters in the app using different voices, and then I'm able to run my lines at my desk, driving my car, sometimes in the audition when I'm around other nervous actors. And if the script is really hefty, then I will call a friend because I need to hear another point of view so that I can respond to something that's different from what's in my mind. And then we all know the medical jargon can get really tricky. So in those moments, I will phonetically spell it out in a way that works for my understanding, and then I'll crumble up a paper and turn it into a ball, and I'll keep floating it in the air, saying the lines over and over and over again, and if the paper falls to the floor, then I start over. And that's how I'm able to use both my right and my left side of my brain. They get to work together, and that's how I solidify those lines, so that anytime I'm in the audition and it gets to a point where I start getting nervous because I know that line is coming up, I don't get nervous anymore. And then finally, number 6, I make sure to improvise the moment before to create something that probably happened before the scene started, and I also like to give a button at the end, whether that's a line, whether I walk out the scene, whether it's an expression. I like to close the scene to give a closure. And if it's a self-tape, if I have the time, I'll record it a couple of times. I'll take a break from it. I'll go back and I'll watch it, and I'll see any places where I may have dropped some beats or some nuances, and then I'll re-record it. After taking my time to go through these foundational basic steps, I found I had not forgotten how to act. I just hadn't been practicing, and I needed to execute again. It was a little stiff at first, but the more I rehearsed, the looser I became, and the more I started to play again, which is what this is all about. It's all about playing. So if you've ever felt like you've forgotten how to act or doubted whether you still have what it takes, trust me, you're not alone. Every actor goes through moments of uncertainty in our craft. But here's the thing, you haven't lost your skills, your talent, or your passion. It's all still waiting to be reawakened. So when in doubt, go back to basics. Remember why you started and trust the process. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up and being present and telling your own unique story. I hope this information was helpful. Use it for your next audition when you're feeling a little doubtful. If you're a trained actor, you're trained for life. On another note, if you're feeling like your acting goals are not being fulfilled, it might be a time to invest in yourself, and I can help you with your business of acting goals. I coach one-on-one on Zoom, where we can work together to map out your unique path to success, or whether you're navigating auditions, branding yourself as an actor, or figuring out the right strategy to land more roles. I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. And guess what? First-time clients get the exclusive rate of $65 per hour, while returning clients can book a session for $125 an hour, and there are packages as well. And you can find all that information in the link down below. I'll leave you in the description below. I'll leave you a link. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my podcast, Acting Lessons Learned, where I dive deeper into the challenges and the triumphs, of being an actor, whether it be audition tips, mindset strategies, terminating agents, or real life stories. I'm in the trenches with you, and there's something there for every actor who's looking to grow. Also, feel free to drop me a line and let me know how you push through these moments of doubt. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.